A very good evening to all our dear viewers, and welcome to the talk conducted by Global Education and Training Institute. In this talk series, today we have invited at this forum none other than a young dynamic personality, Mrs. Shan-e-Fatima. She is going to deliver her talk today on learning machines and on artificial intelligence. Before we finally hand it over to her to give us an in depth insight into the topic, I would like you all to know a little more about her. She is an assistant professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. She has a teaching experience of around 7 years and has always remained a renowned and a popular face amongst her students and colleagues. She is presently working in Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti Language University, a state government university in Lucknow, since the year 2020. Ms. Fatma has done her higher education from Dehradun. She has published several research papers in the renowned journals. She has one international patent granted and one Indian patent published under her credit so far, and two more are yet to get published. She has attended and organized a number of national and international seminars, conferences, workshops, and faculty development programs, and she has even mentored national level projects in the finale rounds. She has also won accolades and added, which has added to her portfolio, like Sarv Shiksha Samman by the Uttar Pradesh government, Emerging Scientist Award in the International Scientist Award in Engineering, Science and Medicine, INSO Awards, Best Paper Awardee in the CUBE proceedings, and many more. She has undertaken and performed many other roles and responsibilities in her teaching and education exceptionally well. Besides wonderfully doing in her teaching and educating, Mrs. Fatima is a great poet too. She has written more than around 50 poems, specially talking about social issues. She is a great mother and a counselor too. She is an optimistic lady full of life. She believes in smart work, is strong and determined. Sky is not the limit for her. Over to you, Ms. Fatima, for giving us an in depth insight into the topic that you've chosen for today, that is artificial intelligence and machine learning.
Thank you, ma'am. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am, you're very much audible, and your PPT is also visible to all of us.
Thank you so much, Sunita, ma'am. Thank you for taking introduction. And what thanks to the wonderful platform to share what all I know and would love to share it with the people around. So, without wasting much of the time, I would directly come to the topic that I'm going to give a talk on artificial intelligence and machine learning today. Basically, AI and machine learning are the two most talked about buzzwords today. They are opening a vivid world of opportunities, and AI is beyond and ahead in every niche it has stepped into and it is stepping into. We are actually living in an age where the youth is more into self auto part things like Siri, Alexa, Google, and is least keen or interested in doing the things on his own. So here comes the world of entire artificial intelligence and machine learning. So today, what all I'll be discussing upon into this topic in the given duration will be just a minute. So I'll be talking about the basic introduction to what this artificial intelligence and machine learning is. What are the career opportunities available in AI and ML? I'll be talking about the startups to drive growth of AI and ML, and then proceeding towards what all are the skills required or expected out of a youth for getting success into AI and ML, and then we'll be leading towards the conclusion. So, to begin with, AI, artificial intelligence, as the name itself suggests, an intelligence which is artificial in nature, which is unnatural. We all humans are being gifted by God. We all are being gifted with some or the other intelligence. We have, we have, we all have got brains. We all have got five senses to see, to respond, to take decisions, and to act accordingly. But when talking in terms of artificial intelligence, this is an unnatural intelligence that we people in this age are trying to incorporate into the machines. Now we want the machines to look, not only to look alike like the humans do, but also we want the machines to be smart machines today. We want the machines to look alike humans, the machines to having the capabilities to think like humans, to behave like humans, and moreover, we want the machines to be smarter in every sense, so that, like we humans do, the machines can themselves take decisions and perform some actions on meeting up any situation in the real world environment. So, the definition says that AI is a branch of science and assist machines to find solutions to complex problems in a more human like fashion. There are different definitions given by different scientists and people for artificial intelligence. So, moreover, I'll say that it is actually not only a branch of science, but AI is basically an amalgamation of all the streams, all the studies that we are into, whether it be science, whether it be psychology, whether it be whatever stream of studies we can think of. Every science, every stream is now being merged into artificial intelligence. So basically, AI is not only the future of next generation technology, but AI has emerged from the day very past and is emerging, and no doubt is going to remain the future of the next generation technology. It encompasses variety of discipline, as I said, like medical, finance, engineering. Proceeding on to next, here are the different statements or the definitions given by the renowned entrepreneurs. As Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, says, AI is the main tool behind new age innovation and discoveries like driverless cars or disease detecting algorithm. This is what Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, says. As per Barack Obama, the former president USA, generalized artificial intelligence is worth thinking about because it stretches our imaginations and it gets us to think about our core values and issues of choice. As per Elon Musk, the founder and CEO of Tesla, AI will be vastly smarter than any human and would overtake us by 2025. Now, another definition by Bezos, we are not solving problems with machine learning and AI that were in the realm of science fiction for the last several years. So basically, if I summarize, this artificial intelligence is the incorporation of intelligence into machines. We want we want the humans, the exact simulation of humans into the machines. Artificial intelligence is basically making the machines smarter. The concept of trio that we were into, like whenever we talk about computer science, the first thing that was striking into our minds was the trio system, a human being working on a computer system through some interface, through some keyboards or any other medium. We were instructing the computers since so far, and onto our instructions, the computers were, the machines were working on our behalf. But the days have changed, the technologies have changed. Now we are not required to instruct the machines for each and every action they are required to do. Artificial intelligence will be coming into the next slides, and I'll be telling you how exactly this is working. The next topic that, or the next word that comes all together with AI is the machine learning. We call them together AI and ML. But basically, machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence. It is the machine learning and the other concepts like that of deep learning, and moreover, that together constitutes the artificial intelligence. The definition that you can see behind the yellow box, AI. It is trained final output machine which mimic like human brain. For example, we all must have heard of Alexa, we all must have heard of Siri, Google itself, translators. And when it comes to machine learning, it is a subset of AI. It is a technique to achieve artificial intelligence. The example here is spam detection. So let me brief you about the two terms together. When we are talking about artificial intelligence, as said, we are simulating a human into the machines. We are trying to make the machines smarter. We are willing to make the machines work exactly like we humans have been doing. We want the machines to think, we want the machines to decide, we want the machines to act in different situations as we people have been doing since ages. So, what is basically done is we train our computer system or a machine or a smart machine through different input data sets. The whole game, the whole game lies behind what input of what data is being provided to the machines. The more data, the more amount of data, the more relevant data we will be using in order to train our machines. More smart machines will be prepared. So basically, what is being done is we take a machine, we take a common machine, we can call it to be a simple computer system. We train our system, we train our machines through different varieties of inputs, relevant inputs as per the situation, as per the requirement. And then the next process that comes after training is the testing. Once the machine gets trained, the next part that we are supposed to do is obviously to test the machines that how efficiently the machines have been trained. So what is basically done is we gather a sufficient or relevant amount of data altogether. Out of that data, 70% or 60% of the data is normally used to train the machines, and the remaining 30 to 40% of data is kept safe in order to test the machines. Now, what is meant by this training and testing is basically as we humans do when a baby is born. When a human child, when a human baby is born, what do we do? We actually train our kids, we train our babies, we tell them, we teach them what are the do's and what are the don'ts of lives, how to proceed. We tell the baby not to touch a hot iron. We tell the baby not to jump into the dark, otherwise the baby will get hurt. He'll get, I mean, whatever training we are giving to human babies, we are providing a training, or we are providing a training normally bringing up a child as per what situation is coming. Then there are situations into which a child learns by himself. If I tell a child, um, whatever example we can take, suppose if I train my baby not to move into a particular direction or not to touch a naked wire, so we what we basically do is we humans train our child, train our babies, train our newborns with some limited amount of data. And it is our brain, it is our senses that keeps on slowly and gradually they keep on learning by themselves. That if I've been asked not to do this, then I suppose this is again going to be a hot iron or something, and I'll recall that my mother or I was instructed not to touch this, otherwise I'll get a shock. So although I have taught my baby, I have taught a human baby just for a piece of or for a few of the samples, but for the rest of the situations in life when our mentors, our guides are not available to us, it is our brain, it is our senses that guide us, that tell us on their own what all are we supposed to do and what not. Same is the case with the smart machines. We train the machines with particular amount of data, and then it is the machines that are learning onto the basis of the input data. Suppose if I have trained my machine for 10 inputs, I have trained my machine that these are the 10 things for which you have to produce this output. And if some 11th input comes for which a smart machine was not trained, even then our trained machine will be now in a position to answer for which it was not being yet trained. It will map the new input with the already trained inputs, and the machine will try to identify which is the most resembled input for which I was already trained, and what was the output that was mapped for this particular input. And what next machine will be doing is will be generating an output for an input that for which the machine was not trained. So this is how the machines are now able to generate an output or to make a decision even for the things for which the machine was not trained initially. This is what artificial intelligence in brief means. Now, when it comes to machine learning, as I said, machine learning is a subset of AI. Machine learning is the tool or it is the technique to achieve AI. What what do we do in order to make the machines artificially smart? We train the machines. As the word says, machine learning. So the machine is now learning on its own based on to the data that we are giving the machines as an input. Now, moving next, before coming on to this slide, let me give one more example to understand better what this machine learning is. So basically, machine learning can be understood if we take the examples from different movies or real world scenarios. I suppose most of us have seen the very famous PK movie of Amir Khan. So I keep on giving this example to my students in the class as well. We can relate anything, any situation that is happening to us, that is occurring to us. The more we can think, the more data we can acquire, the more smart machines will be in a position to make. So, talking about machine learning, there was a scene in PK movie where the Amir Khan, he came from some other planet, and to him, every human, every species was very new to him. He didn't have the knowledge of what male or female or animals or living or non living things are. He was completely innocent. Sorry, he was completely a new being to the planet. He was unaware of everything he was meeting to. So what did he do? He he started classifying the people as per his understanding into different groups. He categorized the people with tall height, with moustaches, with their dressing senses into one classification, and he named them as whatever we call as males. And then he categorized the next set of humans, those of them who were little sophisticated, um, comparatively shorter in height to the other species, their dressing senses, the ones who were wearing saris and suits and were not seen in shirts and pants. He kept those species into some other classification and named them as females or whatever. So this is how Amir Khan in the movie was learning. He didn't have the prior knowledge of the inputs. He observed the things, he observed the inputs, and as per his understanding, he classified the data into different sets and named them. Now, what happens next? This type of learning, when machine is doing this type of learning, is termed to be an unsupervised learning. Why unsupervised? The reason being the same. There is no supervision, no guidance, no outputs provided to the input. Otherwise, what is generally done, as was said before, in supervised learning, when we train the machines, we provide the machines with the inputs as well as the corresponding outputs. And the type of learning is termed as supervised learning. When we are telling the machine, see, machine, for this input, for this set of input, or for this particular input, you have to produce this output. For this input 2, if you are receiving, you are supposed to produce this output number 2. For this nth number of input, if it comes to your machine, then you are supposed to produce this nth output. This is how the supervised learning is done, where we map the inputs to the outputs and we train our machine. But when it comes to unsupervised learning, as I gave the example right now, same happens with machine. We can train our machines with a limited set of data. Could be a fewer amount of data or could be more. But as per the real world, we encounter different situations, we encounter different surroundings, and every time we feel that we are quite experienced and mature enough and we have seen the world around, there can be nothing new to us. The very next moment, we encounter some other new situation and we are like, oh, this too could have happened. I never imagined. Same is the case with the unsupervised learning. Although we can make our machines to be very much smart by providing them with enormous amount of data, relevant data, even then the machines may encounter a new input for which it is not trained, as was the case with the example I gave. So, in unsupervised learning, we provide the machines with the input, but we do not map them with the outputs. We do not tell the machines that machines see for this input, you'll be producing this output. No, we don't. So, what do the machines do? Machines look for the data set that we provide them as an input. Machines then classify those inputs into different categories based upon to their different features. Like Amir Khan did in the movie, and he classified males, females, babies into different categories. In the same way, machines can classify the input data depending upon their features. For example, if we have provided machines with the, voice of different persons, so the machines, what the smart machines will be doing, they'll be categorizing they'll be looking after the speech features or the voice modulations and will be in a position to tell whether the speaker has been a male, a female, or a baby, or a child, or it was the sound of a bird or animal. So this is how the machine is learning by itself. We are simply providing the machine with the inputs, or we may say the machine is encountering with the new inputs for which it is not trained, for which it is entirely new for the machine, that which output it should be producing in corresponding to the input it is receiving. And then based on to the features, it will classify different inputs into different categories. This is what termed as unsupervised learning. Then there comes another term that is called semi-supervised learning. It lies between supervised and unsupervised learning. For some of the data, we train the machines, and for some of the input data that machine may encounter must be very new to the machine. So that category falls under semi-supervised. And then comes the reinforcement learning. So reinforcement learning talks about the reward and penalty system. Now, what does this mean? As we why every time I'm talking or comparing the machines with the humans, because we are making the machines um, to simulate like we humans do. It's not only in terms of the physical structure that they should be moving and they should be having two hands and two legs. No, it's now beyond the physical structure. Now we are making the machines smart. We are making the machines with unnatural senses. So that is why every every time I'm relating the smart machines with the humans, because as I started in the beginning, that youth today is least interested in doing the work by himself. He wants everything to be done on his own. He simply wants to give instructions or the orders like please switch off yourself, and we want the lights or the bulbs to get them off on their own. So coming back to reinforcement learning again, machines are learning through the concept of reward and penalty, or we can call it as hit and trial method. Whenever the machine is again encountering any new input in the sense, as we people have got five senses, we can see, we can feel, we can touch, we can hear. So machines do not have their own senses. So what are we basically doing is machines are perceiving through their environment. It can be based upon the historical data. Historical data, the machines may have encountered that particular input before as well, or it might be the very new data that machine is encountering for the very first time. Now, for the input that the machine is receiving, the machine will be performing some or the other actions. The machine will be taking certain decisions like what has to be done on receiving this particular input, and then it will be enacting on its own. Now, this reinforcement learning or reward and penalty or hit and trial concept says that on receiving a particular input, machine will perform some or the other action, and depending upon whether the output has been a positive output, the same action the machine will be repeating the next time when it will be encountering the same input. And if it encounters some error or it gets some penalty, like it happened again in the case of PKP, Amir Khan brought some note with Gandhiji scripted on the note. He gave it to the shopkeeper, and return he got a piece of carrot. The next time when Amir Khan felt hungry, what he did, he took all the pictures and posters of Bapuji from wherever he could get it, and then he took it again back to the shopkeeper and he was thrashed off. And then he came to a conclusion, no, Bapuji's value is on this piece of note itself. So that was an example of reinforcement learning, the concept of reward and penalty. If the machine is getting a positive or a healthy output, that means the machine comes to a conclusion that I'm supposed to repeat the same action on encountering this input again in the future, else not. So Proceeding on to next, here are some of the case studies on machine learning done. I guess all of us are very much familiar with the Facebook, Fine Arts, Netflix. So basically, what happens in Facebook, if a number frequent, if a member frequently likes a friend's post, right, the news feed, automatically it starts showing more of that friend's activity earlier in the feed. This is what machine is learning. That machine is observing your activities, your interests, your choices, and based onto your activities, the machines are taking decisions. They'll be showing you the same things that it feels like will interest you. Fine arts, in case of fine arts as well, machine learning algorithms have helped reveal previously unrecognized influences. When it comes to Netflix predicts the ratings, an individual will give a movie for which they haven't even yet watched the movie. It's all because now machines are reading our minds. They know what our choice of interest is and what actions or what decisions are we going to take in the very near future. And accordingly, it is behaving. Also, this is a very vast topic to go, but since I have to summarize it in a duration of half an hour, I'll be proceeding on to the next slides very fast. So now it talks about AI and machine learning in Industry 4. Industry 1 started in 1760s and ended up to 1830s. Then came Industry 2 from 1870s to 1940s. Industry 3 started in 1970s and went up to 2000s. And now it's the age of Industry 4 that started since around 2015 and is expected to go up to 2050, or who knows, may last forever. So, Industry 1 talks about mechanization, steam, and water power. Then came Industry 2 that talked about mass production and electricity. Industry 3 talked about the electronic and IT systems, the automations. And now is the Industry 4 talking about the artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, and more. Coming over to next and talking about applications of AI and ML, there are lot many applications. And in fact, I would say if you'll minutely observe and analyze, we actually are surrounded by the applications of AI and ML. We actually never know that we are being monitored continuously by the machines around. Even you'll be surprised to know, even if you find your machines not to be in working mode, even if your phones are not in active mode, or even if they are switched off, you never know you are being read, you are being heard, and accordingly you are being treated. So it's a very crucial time to be smart enough, no doubt, but simultaneously we need to be very cautious and careful. So here are some of the applications. Automated customer support chatbox is a very common example to go. They increase the user retention by sending reminders and notifications, as if I say a particular date that I am supposed to give a lecture on your time on this and this date on this particular time, I'll be getting a reminder. Machines will be now telling us that what I'm supposed to do and what not. They offer instant answers compared to human assistants, thus reducing the response time. Chatbot, earlier what was like it happening whenever we want to have certain knowledge regarding anything, maybe a restaurant near us or a parlor or a saloon we are looking for, or for XYZ, anything. So there used to be human interventions. There were people hired to answer you. Now the same has been replaced by the smart machines and we get instant answers. This is the concept of chatbox, and they provide upselling opportunities personalized approach. Another application, very common application, is the personalized shopping experience. It results into timely alerts, messages, visuals that should be particularly interesting to us, and dynamic content that modifies according to one's demand and supply. This is all the game of machine learning, my dear. Then next come healthcare. The very recent example we all must have gone through, that there were the drones who were treating the patients during last tremendous times that we have passed through COVID 19. So there were the drones who were treating the patients were in order to not for the doctors to come in contact with the patients. It were the drones that were enabled, that were made in order to take care of the patients. AI enabled workflow assistants are aiding doctors free up their schedules, reducing time and cost by streamlining processes and opening up new avenues for the industry. In addition, AI powered technology helps pathologists in analyzing tissue samples and thus, in turn, making more accurate diagnosis. Then it also plays a very important role in finance, in the smart cars and drones, in driverless cars, in travel, navigation. As I said, we all are really surrounded by AI and ML applications. Then social media, as I talked in my few slides back, I talked about Netflix, I talked about Facebook and whatnot. They use advanced machine learning to do everything from serving content to you and to recognize your face in photos to target users with advertising. We all are aware of these very common facts. Then there are smart home devices. Those are, they provide the data, and the AI learns from the data to perform certain tasks without human intervention and instructions. Then comes creative arts, then comes security and surveillance. Everywhere this AI and ML is applied. Now, this is an example of a first AI humanoid robot called Sophia, and it was developed by Hong Kong based company Hanson Robotics. So, here's a link given, YouTube link. If you people want, you can go and surf it on Google and say, how does this robot Sophia was in a condition to answer the questions of crowd of students, and she was very particular about her answers. And next, okay. So the second thing that I thought of discussing was the career opportunities in AI and ML. To brief out, I would just say whatever field you people are working into, the days are not far when everything is going to get indulged with AI and ML. No matter what field you are into, you are a mechanical engineer or a civil engineer or an electronic engineer. It's not only about engineering, whether talking about finance sector, medical sector, whatever field you are into, if you are not going to make a match with this AI and ML, be sure that you are definitely going to lag behind. So, as per International Data Corporation IDC Worldwide AI Guide, spending on AI systems will accelerate over the next several years as organizations deploy AI as part of their digital transformation efforts and to remain competitive in the digital economy. So, these are some of the avenues this AI/ML is generating, be it in hospital and medicines, be it game playing, speech recognition, understanding the natural language. Now the machines, we are not instructing our machines or talking to our machines in terms of zeros and ones or in binary languages. We are talking to the machines in our own natural language, in whatever language we are comfortable with, be it English, Hindi, Urdu, Marathi, whatever it be. Now the machines are understanding us as it is, as what is meant to be said. We are delivering the same through this natural language processing, although There are loopholes and limitations and scope onto which the things are yet to be done. Then there comes computer vision, identifying the patterns, cybersecurity, of course, face recognition, a very common application to be seen everywhere in almost all the offices and other places too, even in transport, whatever field it may be of transportation, starting from getting the tickets booked to the till the time we reach our destination, and even more planning for the next journey again, and then marketing and advertising, of course. So these are again the avenues. Now, here comes the list of some biggest companies that are heavily relying on AI, be it Amazon, Safe, Simons, Suki, Nato, whatever company or industry or organization you can think of. Every industry is now relying onto this AI and ML. These are some other industries or the organizations that are totally relying, and now they are depending and are based on these and more technologies. And then next, talking about uh, AI and ML to drive growth of startups. So startups ecosystem has been nourished with the advent of technology and has given rise to more evolved business processes. These days, logistics, accounts, marketing, and team performance in HR have all been supported by AI technology. And with the rising technologies like AI, IoT, and ML, it's interesting to watch the changing face of Indian SMEs and startups. What are the skills required to get success in AI and ML? Definitely, you need to think out of the box. You you need to be very innovative. Moreover, you need to be very observable. The more you will observe, the more you'll think out of the box, the more you'll be in a position to make more smart machines. So, working with AI requires an analytical thought process and the ability to solve problems with, of course, cost effective and efficient solutions. Professionals need technical skills to design, maintain, and operate technology and software programs. Although I doubt that these skills will be required in the very coming future, because as per what the race is going, AI and ML is surely going to overtake us in the very coming years, maybe to 2015. Those interested in becoming AI professionals need a education qualification based on foundations of maths, technology, logic, and engineering perspective. Cognitive sciences skills are required. And to conclude, I would just say, as an AI as an AI aspirant, you have ample of job opportunities in this field. AI will transform the global economy, and AI jobs are in high demand. According to International Data Corporation, the number of AI jobs is expected to globally grow 16% this year. AI careers are future proof, meaning they are likely to survive well into the future. Believe me, they are not going to get lost. Getting an education in AI is challenging and requires persistence and personal initiative. Thank you. That's all I have to talk in this much of duration given. Thank you, Sunita ma'am.
Thank you so much, Miss Shan. And it was very interesting to listen to you about the minute details of the topic that you delivered the speech on. There are certain queries, of course, from the viewers also. They want to convey to you
Okay, ma'am.
that we do hear about certain terms like overfitting and underfitting. So, how do you analyze these, and what importance do these terms hold in machine learning?
Okay, ma'am. As far as overfitting and underfitting terms come, so overfitting basically means, as I have been telling from the very beginning, that artificially intelligence machines need to a set of input data. The whole game lies behind what data, how much data is being given, and what data is being served as an input to the machine. So when we talk about overfitting and underfitting, it simply means giving insufficient amount of data, whether it be data which is not adequate in the quantity, that will also is not going to result into a very smart machine, and providing excessive amount of data uh, is also not going to result into building of a smarter machine. The only and the all data that is required to train a machine should be provided. Overfitting and underfitting. I can quote this with an example. Suppose if I train my machine and tell my machine, see, machine, this round object is a ball, right? I I tell my machine and I'm training my machine with the features of some object and training my machine ki machine do recognize this object as a ball. Whenever it comes to you, do tell that it is a ball. Now for the features of ball, I have trained my machine that a ball should be round in shape, a ball is used to play, its weight should be this much of gram, and uh, and if I say that this ball is yellow in color, now what happens next? Whenever a ball with red in color, when a machine is encountering a ball which is red in color, it will not identify it as a correct object to be a ball. Why? Because we train the machine with overfitting feature. We train the machine that the ball should be of yellow in color, and for the rest of the features, it was very clear, it was very obvious that this object is going to be a ball since it was round in shape. It has all the features that we have trained. So this is what meant by overfitting is providing unnecessary details is also not going to be resulting into a healthy or a smarter machine. And same goes with the underfitting clause as well. Providing lesser amount of data will also create ambiguities and confusions and will not result into a smart machine. This is what meant by underfitting and overfitting. I suppose I am clear in my words.
Yeah, definitely. That goes to prove that an appropriate amount and
Exactly.
the correct amount of information that is required by that machine has to be given as an input. So, there was one more question coming up. How is deep
Exactly.
learning different from machine learning? Could you please address that?
Deep learning and machine learning are actually both the subsets of AI. As I said that basically these two terms are always taken together. We call it as AI and ML. So as the machine learning is a tool or a technique that is helping AI, that is building artificial intelligent machines. So in the same way, deep learning is also a subset of AI. The difference is like machine learning enables the machines to take decisions on their own based on the past data as well, while deep learning enables the machine to take decisions with the help of artificial neural network. That is actually another topic to discuss. But machine learning basically helps the machine to take decisions based onto the historical facts or onto the data that has already been served or given to the machines. While in case of deep learning, there comes the concept of ANN. Then in machine learning requires only a small amount of data for training helps. But as the name suggests, deep learning, it requires a larger and a greater depth of data, greater depth of knowledge. Then machine learning works well on the low end system. So we do not need very large machines, but deep learning needs high end machines because it requires a lot of computing power as well. Then as far as deep learning is concerned, it learns the features based on the data it is provided, and the problem is solved in an end-to-end manner in deep learning. While when we talk about machine learning, the problem gets subdivided into different parts, and then it is solved individually, or then it is integrated and combined in order to produce the final output. These are some of the differences between machine learning and deep learning, although both are the subsets of AI only. Deep learning requires a little more depth, depth of the knowledge. Is it?
Thank you so much, Ms. Shan, for addressing both the questions from the viewers. With that, we wind up today's talk, ladies and gentlemen. That was Ms. Shan-e-Fatima, researcher and assistant professor at Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti University at Lucknow. And to partner with us and to be a role model for all those who would wish to bring about this disruptive change in the movement of education. We would like to invite all our viewers to become a partner of disruptive literacy movement. Please mail us at scaleup at globaldream.guru or WhatsApp or call us at 917408406000. With that, we wind up today's talk, and very soon we'll be seeing you in yet another talk. Till then, thank you so much.
That's fine. Goodbye.